Did you also continue your college education in Puttaparthi?
In fact, I did my undergraduation in the Brindavan campus at Whitefield in Bangalore, and I'm so thankful to Swami that I could do my undergraduation there, because half of our class from 12th standard, they did their undergraduation at Puttaparthi, and half of us went to Brindavan, and it was verily Brindavan. Once you study there, you understand why they say that Vrindavan was the playground of Lord Krishna. 3 blissful years in Vrindavan where I did my BCom. One thing that actually stands out during the 3 years of my undergraduate education at Vrindavan was the composition of this particular song. And this happened when I was in my first year of undergraduation. It was composed by some of my classmates and some of my senior brothers, and we were to render this song during the sports meet. Sports meet would happen in the first and second week of January, and we would have a music program in the college auditorium here at Puttaparthi, and the Brindavan students would perform on one evening in front of Swami in the auditorium. So this song is मोहब्बत की कमी दिल में अगर एहसास होता है. Actually, it is a kawali, and that is so very special for me. It has always been very special for me in the years that it was composed, in the years that I finished my undergraduation, and all my life till today. That is something that is closest to my heart. And it was in my first year undergraduation that me and one senior of mine, we had sung this together in front of Swami, this kawali in the auditorium. And what happened was that senior of mine was in his final year, and in the summer vacation he had left for home, and then he continued his education elsewhere. So during the summer vacation, Swami was in Vrindavan for a few days, so we would obviously stay in Vrindavan till Swami left for Kodaikanal. So Swami came up to me during that vacation and he said, "You sang that song during the sports meet, sing that." And it was out of the blue because we were totally unprepared for it. And then we had quickly asked for one of my classmates who played the harmonium and the one who played the tabla. We quickly grouped together, tried to remember the song because the diary had the wordings. So got that, and in the Kalyana Mandapam in Vrindavan, that is where we sang the song first for Swami. And Swami in his own way closed his eyes and he enjoyed the song. So what makes that very special is that was the first time he asked me to sing it in probably a few hundred times that he has asked me to sing that in my life. And that is probably the greatest blessing that he has bestowed on me. That it's not that he has allowed me to sing, it is that it is something which was special to him for some reason. I would always wonder what is so special about this song, because to my little mind there have been much better kavalis, technically speaking, much better kavalis that we have sung in front of Swami. But there is this one kavali that Swami had kind of latched on to, and he has asked me to sing it so many times in front of him. I can't be grateful enough to him for that. Why that lesson is so important, I'll just tell you that, because I think it holds a very important place in my life and in the life of everybody to whom this lesson reaches out. The first thing is the words of the first couplet that this was picked from. It was picked from a book which was written by one Sri Mishra, who was a Hindi and English professor here. So he had written saying, "Mohabbat ka kabhi dil mein agar ehsaas hota hai," which means that if ever you feel love in your heart, zara jhanko to paoge ki sai paas hota hai. Means you look within and you will find that sai is the source of that love. That is what he had written as. So the elder brother who had picked up this couplet and then changed some of the words for the entire kavali, he does not know till today how it got changed to this, Mohabbat ki kami. Instead of Mohabbat ka kabhi, it has become Mohabbat ki kami. And we know that that was the lesson that Swami has been trying to teach me and everybody who's been listening to this song, that if ever you feel the lack of love, all of us go through this phase in life where we feel the lack of love due to any reason, lack of love anywhere that we are working or staying. जरा झांको तो पाओगे कि साई पास होता है. Don't worry, that is the assurance that Swami has been giving us all these years. Look within, you will find Sai is there, and you will get rid of all your unhappiness. And this very, very strong message hit me so hard 4 years ago, when it has become so much imperative that we look within us to look and seek that Sai within us and seek our bliss, which he is as close to us. We all know that story that Swami tells about Draupadi praying to Krishna in the court of the Kauravas, where she said, "Oh Mathura Vasi, oh Vrindavan Vasi," and then Krishna was not coming, and then Draupadi was getting desperate, and in the end Draupadi said, "Oh Hridaya Vasi," and then Krishna appeared in an instant. He said, and Krishna explained to Draupadi, so Mathura, Vrindavan, I had to go all the way there and then travel to you. The moment you said Hridaya Vasi, I am just so close to you, so there I manifested. So this lesson that zara jhanko to paoge, just look within yourself. That is the closest distance between you and Swami. So this lesson I hold dear to my heart, will hold dear to my heart always, and that is why that is so special for me. So let me just sing the first few lines of this song that is so dear to me. मोहब्बत की कमी दिल में अगर एहसास होता है, जरा झांको तो पाओगे कि साई पास होता है. ओ करिश्मा ये उसी का है कि दुनिया खूबसूरत लगती है, वरना आदमी को आदमी क्या रास होता है. साई बिन रहा न जाए, साई बिन रहा न जाए, चैन ना आए मोहे चैन ना आए, साई बिन रहा न जाए. This song we constantly saying, Sai bin raha na jaye, I cannot live without Sai. And the beauty of this Kavali, as with all of Swami's bhajan, is that he makes one person lead, and then the entire lot of devotees and students are following this. So everybody is saying, I cannot live without Sai, I cannot live without Sai. And that is the bond between the Lord and his devotee. But why do we need to live without Sai? Because the first two lines of this Kavali, the Alap says, if you are unhappy, mohabbat ki kami, if you feel the lack of love, that is when you are unhappy. So if you feel you are living without Sai, what do you do? If you are unhappy because of that fact, what do? You look within. Sai paas hota hai, look within, and Swami is that close to us. So this is the wonderful message. I think this is a wonderful message for all of us from this song that Swami has repeatedly tried to, put into our heads. After my undergraduation days at Vrindavan, I wrote the entrance for MBA. Ours was the 5th batch of MBA. That was in 1991. That was one course. Lots of my science batchmates also wanted to do, and obviously all of us, commerce graduates, wanted to do was we wanted to pursue our MBA. It was a very coveted seat. And then by Swami's grace, I got into my MBA. And then with MBA, it was, lessons in the classroom, lessons on the portico from Swami, which are much more important. And, the blessing that we had was that Swami came to the college also and taught us management lessons. The wonderful definition of a manager which Swami has given was, when we were studying, we were lucky enough to be one of the 2 batches which were studying our MBA when Swami came to the college, and then gave us a wonderful talk on leadership and on what a manager actually should be. So again, wonderful 2 years here at Prasanthigram, doing our MBA and learning lessons from Swami. In between my MBA, Swami blessed me with the opportunity to accompany him to Kodaikanal. That was a month of pure bliss. Anyone who goes to Kodaikanal with Swami, you feel so close to him, and yeah, I can just call it a month of pure bliss. One very important lesson that I took back from the Kodaikanal trip was that no matter what we are nothing without Sai. That he is the hero and we are actually zeros without him. And I for one would definitely say that is true of me. And how Swami taught us this lesson was, we were all in a bus in Kodaikanal, and along with Swami we had gone to see this waterfall, Silver Cascade. There's a waterfall in Kodaikanal. And then we finished that, and by the time we were coming back to Sai Shruti, the residence, Swami was not in his car. He was sitting along with us in the bus. And then by then people got to know that Swami had gone to see the waterfall and he was returning. So scores of people had started standing on the sides of the road to have a glimpse of Swami. And when they saw that Swami was not in his car, word spreads quickly among devotees. They knew, and everyone knew, Swami was not in the car and he was in the bus. But Swami had all the curtains drawn in the bus. So Swami was not visible actually to the devotees. And yet, as all of us would do, knowing that Swami was in that bus traveling, everyone was standing there on the roadside with folded hands to the bus. And then Swami, looked outside, saw those devotees, and he told all of us, who were hovering around him in the bus, he said, "Chudandra, look, when Swami is there in something, even an inanimate thing like a bus gets the pranams of devotees. And when Swami is not there in that car of his, see, nobody is doing pranam to that." He taught us that lesson, that only when he is there, we also get. He said, inanimate things like a bus gets pranams, and even people like you also are getting the pranams of the devotees because I am here. He tells it like this, in a split second he says, and he went on to another subject. But then this is the lesson you have to hold on to, which is very true. Without Swami, we are nothing. All of us, whether we are studying here, whether we are working here, whether we are devotees, basically he is our everything.
Yes, Brother Ravi, it's so true. Tell us how you joined the hospital.
It was about 2 months after the summer vacation that I joined the hospital in 1993. In fact, Swami asked us to go home and then come back in the month of July 1993. So once we came back, we were about 5 or 6 of us classmates who had finished our MBA, who wanted to stay with Swami and continue to serve in his mission. So then one day Swami sent word for 5 of us, and then said that he gave us Pad Namaskar and said, go and join the hospital. And we were overjoyed that Swami had given us the opportunity to serve him. And then one very strange thing happened. We were standing, that Dashavatara gate, what is called, from the Kulwant Hall now, as you go out towards the Gopuram, that is called the Dashavatara gate. So Swami was going out. He had told us in the morning, go and meet the director, Dr. Sathya, in the hospital. He will tell you where to work. So we had said okay. And just after the bhajan got over, Swami was going out somewhere for a drive. So we stood on the side near the Dashavatara gate with folded hands. As Swami's car passed, all five of us were standing next to each other. Swami looked at me and he pointed something like that from the car. When he pointed something like that. So, and he drove past. I thought Swami is asking me to stay back until he returns. So the other four of my classmates, they had to go to the hospital because Swami had said go, and Swami had only motioned to me saying stay back. So I stayed back while the other four came to the hospital. Swami returned from his drive and I was standing near the entrance to his residence at the Purnachandra auditorium. He was staying in the Purnachandra auditorium in those days. So I just stood, and then Swami came, got down from the car, he saw me, he smiled, he gave his abhayasta and he said, take Pad Namaskar. So I took Pad Namaskar once again and he said, go to the hospital. So I came to the hospital. So there was nothing, there was no special instruction, nothing. So I came. What had happened is, by the time we reached the hospital, the other four boys had met the director and they were given their places of work already. So actually they were asked to choose between various places of work and also according to what they had studied in their undergraduation days. So somebody went to the laboratory, somebody went to the accounts department, somebody went to the urology department, to the nephrology and dialysis unit. And then I was the last person in and I had only one slot to fill, which was to join the IT department, the computer department. And in those days I had a morbid fear of computers. Even during my MBA, whatever little, we were taught a little bit of programming, and I had a fear of computers for whatever reason. And but I didn't have a choice. I had to join the computer department. And then I asked any other clinical department, sir, can I go and join some other clinical? I'm willing to do any other work, but computers and me are, quite a distance away from each other. And then director said, no, these are the 5 jobs available, the other 4 are taken, so you have to do this. So 1 day, 2 days, and I was becoming more and more anxious. So I told Swami one day, finally I told Swami, I am very afraid of computers. I don't think I will fit in there. I am willing to do anything else, Swami. Imagine, that was how afraid I was of computers. And then Swami said, you work for a month with computers. If you are still not comfortable, then you tell me, you can work elsewhere. Loving Lord, He gives us an opportunity to serve Him. And I have the cheek to go up and tell Swami, do you have any other opening? I am not so comfortable with this job. And he says 1 month. And I realized that was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. I just 1 month later, I was so much in love with computers and so much comfortable with computers. I never wanted to leave the computer department ever since then. Mr. Kannan sir, who still heads the IT department now, it was just him and me in those days. He would be half the time in the university and then he would come here, and then I just picked up whatever programming skills I needed in those days, and I never felt like leaving the IT department since then. So that is how my journey into the hospital started, and the Master, the loving Lord, made sure that I got something which I was afraid of, but He knew that was something that I would love for the rest of my life. And that is how the journey into the hospital started. Because 5 years after I was in the IT department, because the radiology department had expensive equipment, and then Swami later mentioned that these expensive equipment needs good looking after, and then he said that I be shifted to the radiology department. So 5 years after being in the IT department, I came to radiology. Yes, I was still in love with computers. I used to do part of the time I would do some computer related work, But even in radiology, I realized ever since that most of my work were related to computers, and lot of imaging, lot of computers, lot to do with storage and management of images. So it has been that kind of a journey, which started with me trying to be cheeky with Swami, and the loving Lord just made sure that I was on the path that I would enjoy. Actually, going back to the time when we joined the hospital, two things strike me. From our class, we were about 6 of us who waited for Swami to give us a job anywhere here in his mission. And all of us used to be together. Swami would see us together, but then Swami decided that out of the 6, only 5 of us would get in, and this 6th brother will not. But why Swami decided? Because as far as we were concerned, we thought he was like any of us. Swami would talk to him as much as Swami would talk to us. He was part of the music group, in fact. But then Swami just decided that he has a different plan for him. And we know how well that has unfolded for him outside of Puttaparthi, and how well it has unfolded for us here in Puttaparthi in his hospital. So one thing is that Swami has his plan for you, and he will decide, and so he decided, for which I am very grateful to him. The second aspect is, when he chose the 5 of us, before he asked us to go to the hospital, he called us into his residence, into a room in the Purnachandra auditorium. And then he told us about the hospital, and then he said, okay, you will be joining, you will be working, etc. Then he told us that you will be paid such and such amount of salary. And then we were all seated there at his lotus feet, pining that Swami gave us this opportunity to serve you. And he looks at us and asks, is that salary enough for all of you? I am telling you, all of us felt like crying. We want to tell Swami, we would give anything to be here. After giving us the opportunity to serve you, you pay us something, and then you are actually asking us whether that amount of money is enough. I mean, his love knows no bound. So that is how it started. That was a blessing. And then I told you later on how I came and I joined the hospital. And I'm telling you, the journey has only been enjoyable. In the IT department, in the radiology and the urology departments, it has been a wonderful journey. The most striking thing about working in this hospital probably can be summarized in a mental picture which is always there in my heart, and which I saw just yesterday. I mean, we see it very often, but which I see yesterday, which is, as we were walking out of the hospital, I saw one of the patients walking out with the family, and they walked out of the door. There is a photograph of Swami there, and all of them turned and fell prostrate on the road outside. They fell prostrate in front of Swami and offered their gratitude to Swami. Obviously, that was a patient who had been operated, who had become well and was going out of the hospital, and they are offering that gratitude to Swami. It is that same gratitude that is there. Indirectly, when they are offering their gratitude to Swami, I am sure part of those blessings from Swami comes to us indirectly. And that is what he does. He gives us blessings, and then he makes us part of this, this gratitude circle that the patients form with him. And then we have some small part somewhere in between. He is undoubtedly the hero, and we are the zero without him. But I won't even call it satisfaction. It is something much, much more beyond satisfaction. When you see that there are happy faces at the end of the day, you're actually curing patients. We are part of the process that cures patients and sends them out of this institution. And just to see the amount of love that they have for Swami, you see patients touching Swami's feet, on the photographs around on the wall, prostrating. These are wonderful, these are blissful sights for us to see every day. And every day as we come in contact with the patients in our respective areas, we know what they go through as part of their illness, and what they would have to go through to cure their illnesses if they went anywhere outside the Sathya Sai hospitals. And that joy and that satisfaction, I think, cannot be measured, and I don't think it can be compared with anything else. It is, see, the job satisfaction, like I said, Swami ensured that personally for me it was something that I enjoy doing. That is, you can call it on the professional front. And on the satisfaction front, what more could one ask for? So Swami, he heaps blessing on us every day. So yes, the journey is truly enjoyable still.
Being in the hospital for so many years, I'm sure you would have come across instances where Swami has revealed his omniscience.
Yes, indeed. Two incidents come to mind. One is something personal. My father was diagnosed with some illness when he was there in Coorg. And then the doctors had said, they had actually recommended a very strong injection that had to be given routinely to him for a period of time. So parents said, see, can you ask Swami whether we should go ahead with this treatment? And I got up and asked Swami in the mandir, and he was, loving Lord, listen to me. And then he said, no, it is not that. That particular medication is the one which should not be given for father. And Swami says it, even if he said it very emphatically, but any words coming out of Swami is yes. So he said not to be given. I immediately called my parents and I said, no, this is not to be given. So that was not given. And some further tests were done a little later, and those tests proved that actually it was not the illness that the doctors were thinking it is. And they said, in fact, those strong injections which they would have given father would have aggravated the condition which was eventually detected. This is the Lord. He allows you to get up and ask him a question, and then he gives you answers for life, basically. So that is one incident which comes to mind personally. Another one I am aware of is when I was in radiology, I know of this one patient. There was a doubt about whether the patient was suffering from a form of cancer or it was tuberculosis. And so there was a divided professional opinion. And in fact, there was an expert who came down from a multi-specialty hospital at Chennai, an oncology specialist, and then seeing the CT scan images, he actually identified and said that yes, this is more in favor of cancer. So then when this was going on, one of the very senior doctors was getting up and telling Swami that this is the opinion, etc. So one morning when Swami came out for darshan, in the portico, he told this very senior doctor that it is tuberculosis, it is not cancer, gave him the proper medication for that, and he will be okay. And then Swami said, you want, take the patient to another place where we could do a biopsy. And so this patient was taken to another hospital by one of our doctor staff, and a biopsy was performed, and yes, obviously it turned out to be tuberculosis which Swami performed. So all those expert opinions of people who said this is cancer, etc., were all blown to the wind. It is just one word from Swami who comes out and says it is this. You confirm with a biopsy, because always in radiology, our radiologists like to put in the end, this is what we think are the differential diagnosis, and they say biopsy for confirmation is what they say. So Swami also was like this. It is tuberculosis, biopsy for confirmation. So biopsy proved beyond a doubt that it was tuberculosis, and he was treated for that. He is perfectly fine, and now he is, we interact with him many times even now. He is very, very hale and hearty. These incidents come to mind where Swami just decides out of the blue, I will just show you, what we call a jhalak of my omniscience, a small bit of my omniscience. And so there you are, that is where Swami had shown. These two incidents come to mind with this.
Having been with Swami right from your childhood, how have you connected and how are you connecting with him now?
Like I said in the beginning, I think Swami decided on day one how I would connect with him. And personally for me, it has been through singing. Very first day he asked me to, the very first day I joined in my third standard, he asked me to sing. And very grateful to him that until today he has given me that opportunity to connect with him. And while saying that I connect with him through singing, many of us actually discuss that it is not singing per se. It is not that only a person who leads a bhajan can connect to Swami. In fact, Swami has told us on many occasions that, if we connect to Swami properly, we are helping a few thousand others to connect with Swami. So in fact, the big responsibility is that we are conduits who help devotees connect with Swami. So it is not enough if we merely, chant his name or sing his name or try to connect with him merely by saying his name. We have to connect with him internally. So that he has told us multiple ways in which we can do. The easiest way, what he has told us, dhyana, what is it? He has such a lovely form that if we just imagine his lovely form in our hearts, that is enough to make a constant and instant connection with Swami. As a loving mother several times, as a stern father many times, he has taught me whenever I was astray, he would tell me directly that I was not concentrating. He would only say, the loving Lord never says you're not concentrating on me. He would say you're not concentrating. Then I know I am not doing that. You're distracted during bhajan, but that is not how you get connected to the Lord. So it has been my experience that Swami, in his beautiful form, all you have to do is imagine him in your mind and pray out your heart to him, and we are instantly in touch with him. So for me, that is how I have been blessed to maintain that connect with the Lord. And where do I look for him? Andar jhankunga. I will look within for my Lord. And I always find him there to comfort me, to provide me solace, as he has always done throughout my life. Verily, he is my Pranasakha. Pranasakha tum, he Praneshwar. Pranasakha tum, he Praneshwar. Karuna karo Bhagavan. Karuna karo Bhagavan. Tum hi Mata Pita Gurunatha. Tum hi Mata Pita Gurunatha. Darshan do Bhagavan. Darshan do Bhagavan. Karuna karo Bhagavan. Karuna karo Bhagavan. Pranasakha tum, he Praneshwar.